Chapter 5 of Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell is titled The Three Lessons of Joe Flom and tells the story of a lawyer who became one of the most successful mergers and acquisitions lawyers in the world. Gladwell uses Joe Flom's story to illustrate how cultural legacies and opportunities play a significant role in success. Flom was born into a Jewish family in Brooklyn during the Great Depression. He grew up in a time when Jews were discriminated against and had limited opportunities for success. However, Flom's parents had a small grocery store, which allowed them to send their son to Harvard Law School, where he was one of only a few Jewish students. After graduating from law school, Flom struggled to find a job due to anti-Semitic attitudes in the legal field. He eventually joined a small law firm that focused on the relatively obscure field of mergers and acquisitions. Over time, Flom became an expert in this area and went on to co-found one of the most successful law firms in the world. Gladwell suggests that there are three lessons to be learned from Flom's story. The first lesson is the idea of demographic luck. Flom was lucky to have been born at a time when discrimination against Jews was decreasing, allowing him to attend Harvard Law School and pursue a career in law. Had he been born a few years earlier, his opportunities may have been much more limited. The second lesson is the importance of being an outsider. Gladwell argues that being an outsider can provide individuals with a unique perspective that can be beneficial in their careers. Flom, as a Jewish lawyer in a field dominated by non-Jewish lawyers, was able to provide a different perspective that ultimately led to his success. The third lesson is the idea that success is a product of both individual effort and external factors. Flom's success was due in part to his intelligence and hard work, but also to the opportunities he had and the cultural legacy that allowed him to excel in his field. Overall, Chapter 5 of Outliers emphasizes the role that cultural legacies and opportunities play in success. Flom's story illustrates how being in the right place at the right time, having access to opportunities, and being an outsider can all contribute to success. The chapter also suggests that success is not solely a product of individual effort, but is influenced by external factors as well. In Chapter 6 of Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell explores the idea of cultural legacies and how they can affect an individual's success. Gladwell uses the example of Harlan, Kentucky, a small town in the Appalachian region of the United States, to illustrate how cultural legacies can be both beneficial and detrimental. Gladwell begins by discussing the history of Harlan and how its culture was shaped by the coal mining industry. The coal mining industry in Harlan created a culture of honor and violence, where disputes were often settled through physical confrontation. This culture was passed down from generation to generation and continued to exist long after the coal mining industry declined. Gladwell then introduces the concept of culture of honor, which is a set of beliefs and behaviors that emphasize the importance of reputation and self-defense. This culture is prevalent in many parts of the world, but it is particularly strong in certain regions of the United States, including the Appalachian region. Gladwell argues that the culture of honor in Harlan has both positive and negative effects on the town's residents. On the one hand, the culture of honor encourages individuals to stand up for themselves and their families, which can be beneficial in certain situations. On the other hand, it also promotes violence and can lead to a cycle of revenge and retaliation. Gladwell further explores the negative effects of the culture of honor in Harlan by discussing the high rate of homicides in the town. He suggests that the culture of honor, combined with the easy availability of guns, contributes to the high homicide rate. He also notes that the culture of honor can make it difficult for law enforcement to investigate crimes, as individuals may be hesitant to cooperate with authorities for fear of being seen as weak. Overall, Chapter 6 of Outliers highlights the powerful influence of cultural legacies on individuals and communities. The culture of honor in Harlan, while providing some benefits, also contributes to a cycle of violence and hinders the town's progress. The chapter emphasizes the importance of understanding cultural legacies in order to create positive change and overcome their negative effects. Chapter 7 of Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell is titled The Ethnic Theory of Plane Crashes, and it explores how culture affects teamwork and performance in high-stress situations. Gladwell uses the example of airline crashes to demonstrate the impact of cultural legacies on teamwork and success. Gladwell begins by discussing a series of airplane crashes that occurred in the 1980s and 1990s involving Korean Air, which at the time had a significantly higher crash rate than other airlines. Gladwell notes that the pilots of these planes were highly trained and experienced, but they were unable to effectively communicate and work together as a team, which led to the crashes. Gladwell then introduces the concept of power distance, which is a measure of how comfortable individuals are with unequal distribution of power in a society or organization. He notes that different cultures have different levels of power distance, with some valuing hierarchy and deference to authority more than others. Gladwell suggests that power distance plays a significant role in how individuals work together in high-stress situations, such as airplane crashes. He notes that in cultures with high power distance, individuals may be hesitant to speak up or challenge authority, even if doing so would benefit the team. This can lead to a breakdown in communication and teamwork, which can be disastrous in high-stress situations. Gladwell then discusses the contrasting example of Colombian airliner Avianca, which had a reputation for being one of the safest airlines in the world despite operating in a country with high power distance. He notes that Avianca's success was due in part to the airline's efforts to create a culture of communication and teamwork, which allowed individuals to speak up and challenge authority when necessary. Overall, Chapter 7 of Outliers emphasizes the importance of culture in teamwork and success. Gladwell suggests that understanding cultural legacies and how they affect communication and teamwork can help organizations improve their performance in high-stress situations. He notes that creating a culture of communication and teamwork is essential for success, even in cultures with high power distance. The chapter provides a powerful reminder that success is not just about individual skill or talent, but also about the ability to work effectively with others in a team. In Chapter 8 of Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, the author explores the cultural differences in how individuals approach problem-solving and learning. Gladwell uses the examples of rice farming in China and math education in the United States to illustrate these differences. Gladwell begins by discussing the practice of rice farming in China, which requires a great deal of careful attention to detail and teamwork. He notes that rice farming is a complex process that involves a deep understanding of the natural world and requires individuals to work together in a coordinated and efficient manner. This cultural practice, according to Gladwell, has a significant impact on the way Chinese individuals approach problem-solving and learning. Gladwell contrasts this with the American approach to math education, which he argues focuses too heavily on individual achievement and memorization. He notes that American students are often taught to approach math as a series of rules and formulas to be memorized, rather than as a tool for problem-solving and understanding the natural world. Gladwell suggests that these cultural differences in approach to problem-solving and learning have a significant impact on individual success. He notes that the Chinese approach to rice farming fosters a deep understanding of the natural world and promotes teamwork and cooperation, which can be applied to other areas of life, including education and business. The American approach to math education, on the other hand, can lead to a shallow understanding of math and a lack of creativity and critical thinking skills. Gladwell concludes the chapter by suggesting that the best approach to problem-solving and learning is one that combines the strengths of both cultures. He notes that while the Chinese approach to teamwork and problem-solving is valuable, it is important to also foster creativity and critical thinking skills. The American approach to math education, while flawed, can also teach individuals important skills like perseverance and resilience. Overall, Chapter 8 of Outliers emphasizes the importance of understanding cultural differences in approach to problem-solving and learning. Gladwell suggests that by combining the strengths of different cultures, individuals can develop a more well-rounded set of skills and be more successful in their personal and professional lives. In Chapter 9 of Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, the author explores the concept of educational opportunity and the impact it has on an individual's success. Gladwell tells the story of Merita, a young girl living in the South Bronx who attends the KIPP Academy, a charter school that emphasizes a rigorous academic curriculum and a strong sense of community. Gladwell notes that Merita's success is not just due to her individual intelligence or hard work, but also the opportunities provided to her by the KIPP Academy. He notes that the school's focus on a rigorous curriculum and a strong sense of community sets it apart from traditional public schools and provides students like Merita with the tools they need to succeed. Gladwell goes on to discuss the concept of educational opportunity and how it is often unequal across different socioeconomic groups. He notes that many students living in low-income neighborhoods do not have access to the same educational resources as those in wealthier areas, which can lead to a cycle of poverty and limited opportunities. However, Gladwell also notes that there are ways to provide equal educational opportunities to all students, such as through charter schools like KIPP Academy. He suggests that by providing students with a rigorous academic curriculum, a strong sense of community, and opportunities for extracurricular activities, we can help close the gap in educational achievement between different socioeconomic groups. Gladwell also discusses the role of parental involvement in a child's education, noting that Merita's mother played a significant role in her success by advocating for her daughter's education and supporting her throughout her academic journey. The chapter concludes by highlighting the importance of providing equal educational opportunities to all students, regardless of their socioeconomic background. Gladwell suggests that by investing in education and providing students with the tools they need to succeed, we can help break the cycle of poverty and inequality and create a more equal and just society. Overall, Chapter 9 of Outliers emphasizes the importance of equal educational opportunities and the role that schools and parents can play in supporting students' academic success. Through the story of Merita and the KIPP Academy, Gladwell highlights the importance of providing students with a rigorous academic curriculum, a strong sense of community, and opportunities for extracurricular activities in order to help them reach their full potential.